There are a number of things we can talk about in regards to that Vancouver Canucks game. 1. We can talk about Elias Pettersson and the contract. Is he worth that $11-something million AAV? We may have seen so tonight. We can also talk about the other Elias on the team, as Elias Lindholm gave us a little bit of a scare. Partway through the first period, we thought for a moment that he actually got traded for real. Thirdly, we can talk about the Thatcher Demko show, Thatcher with the catcher going out there doing his thing. And then, of course, fourthly, we can talk about the result of the game, which, in my opinion, may be one of the boring topics out there, because this game was kind of boring. Not gonna lie. The Vancouver Canucks defeat the LA Kings 2-1 in overtime in a game that... Okay, look, maybe boring is the wrong word. There certainly were moments where nothing was really happening in this one. But I think especially towards the end, you couldn't really say that it wasn't exciting. Yeah, I think boring was the wrong word. That's my bad. But the Canucks win a super tight, super low-key, super low-scoring game in... What's it called now? Crypto.com Arena? I almost said the Staples Center. That's my bad. Putting pretty much their stake into the revenge against LA. They got destroyed by the Kings a week ago, 5-1, I'm pretty sure, on home ice, so it's definitely not an ideal position to be in if you're one of the top teams in the NHL. The Canucks, after getting all this momentum with the Elias Pettersson signing and the win a few days ago against the Anaheim Ducks, tried to take advantage and get themselves yet another dub against LA. And what do you know? It's also 2-1 this time. So, everything's looking more so like the Canucks have stopped scoring, but hey, if Thatcher Demko and Casey DeSmith can keep the puck out like they have been the past few days or so, then I'm all for it, not gonna lie. But in this game, we had ourselves a few scoring chances, a few high-danger opportunities, and of course, a few goals. The Canucks held most of the zone time in the first period, but the Kings had most of the shots, though. A bad turnover by Filip Hronek in his own zone results in a cross-crease opportunity for Trevor Moore. This is the first goal of the game, and it comes with about 9 minutes to go in the first period. Moore makes it 1-0, assisted by Philippe Deneau, and that is the only offensive point production that the Kings are able to get. In the second period, though, there were a few great moments for Vancouver. Quinton Byfield took 2 penalties, and the Canucks actually looked pretty alright on these scrambled power play opportunities they had. The first one got killed off, the second one was also killed off, but immediately after the Canucks' second power play on Byfield ended, Byfield got a breakaway, or he almost got a breakaway coming out of the box, but he would have had the shot on goal if it wasn't for Nikita Zadorov with that heavy, strong back check and completely shutting down Byfield and his scoring opportunity to be. Second period, though, Canucks kept on putting more shots on. Talbot was making save after save after save. No, super grade A opportunities, I would say, but definitely, challenging saves still. Cam Talbot definitely had himself a night that I felt was worthy of talking about, so big shout out over to him. He definitely made the Canucks' jobs a lot more difficult. But it's Elias Pettersson with 3 minutes to go in this second period who ends up scoring. He takes the puck off of a really nice pass from Nils Höglander, coming down the wing, cuts in towards the middle, and he does a really nice job walking around Drew Doughty, holding onto the puck, dangling around a few more guys, and then patiently waiting before firing the puck right through into the open cage because Cam Talbot was committed to the shot too early. Pettersson just kind of dangled around everybody. What a great play there. That is an $11.6 million AAV play right there. For sure. However, that was all we had seen out of the second period. The third period, of course, you know from the result of the game, it came and went without any goals, but it definitely had its own drama too. With 17:55 to go in the third period, you had Thatcher Demko robbing Alex Turcotte on a 2-on-1 cross crease on the rush with a spread eagle glove save where he's down on the ice and he stretches himself out to grab it out of midair. What a beautiful play. Alex Turcotte, the young guy, looks up to the heavens with shock on his face because he cannot believe he just fumbled that opportunity. It's tough to get the puck up and over the glove when you're that tight in like Turcotte was on that shooting opportunity, especially going against the momentum. It was a little bit difficult, and Demko was able to make the save of the night because of it. Just a few minutes later, though, it's Trevor Lewis on another cross-crease one-timer that ends up hitting the side of the net, even though the net was wide open. Demko was kind of caught out of position there. That could have been an absolute dagger for LA as well, but Lewis, unfortunately, is not able to get it to go. You had Elias Pettersson trying a few more things as well. He was physical in this game. He had a really nice wraparound opportunity in the third period. Wasn't able to get it through, but it still looked like a good one. And then Quinn Hughes, I'd say, had one of the more impactful games, it looked like, just from an on-ice perspective. Like, I know he hasn't been the best the past few weeks. There are a few games here and there where you could say that he definitely didn't look great, but this game certainly was not one of them. He was on the puck all night, dancing around the offensive zone, twirling around, making plays, dipsy-doodling inside and outside on guys. He looked so good, and this was one of the games where there's a reason he had 2 assists, and he kind of deserved it based off of his play. In overtime, though, this is when everything goes down. You had, ultimately, Kevin Fiala trying to dipsy-doodle his way into the Canucks zone by himself in overtime, and he ends up getting shut down. He ends up taking a holding call on Elias Pettersson by dragging the guy's jersey to prevent a 2-on-1, and that results ultimately in the Canucks 4-on-3 extended pressure of delayed penalty time. Thatcher Demko went to the bench. You had Miller, Petey, Hughes, and Besser out there as the 4 guys, whilst the LA Kings were waiting on the delayed penalty to be called. Eventually, it's Hughes who goes over to Miller, Miller down to Besser at the goal line, Besser goes right back to Miller, and he bombs it right on goal. One-time shot for the ages. He doesn't even aim. He just shoots it as hard as he can, and it goes right through Talbot. He gets a big piece of it, but it squeaks through the 5-hole and slithers into the back of the net. So the Canucks ultimately take this one 2-1 in overtime. The game winner was technically not a power play goal, but it was scored during the delayed penalty period, so even strength technically, but we all kind of understand the Canucks had a pretty good advantage. They were patient with it, and they stuck through. JT Miller, man, what an absolute monster of a guy. And with the Canucks getting 2 goals out of Pettersson and Miller in this game, I'm a pretty happy camper because, hey, my fantasy week, it's the finals right now, and I'm facing off against probably the biggest threat all league long. And this game with the goals by Petey and Miller definitely helped me out. So thank you to those 2 for getting things done. Elias Pettersson looking like a very good, expensive athlete in this game here. Thatcher Demko making his payroll worth it, and of course Quinn Hughes looking good as well. I will say a few extra things here. For Carson Soucy to return to the lineup in the way that he did, that was really great because you could really see just how much his presence stabilized that blue line. There were so many plays where he just made the clutch, right defensive decision, but he does it so calmly even if he's under pressure. Carson Soucy, man, you were dearly missed, and his security back there on the defense core was very much needed for the team. I'd say there were a few other good things to talk about as well. The team looked pretty alright despite no Tyler Myers. There was some good work ethic and some good bumps taken, even though there was no Dakota Joshua in this one. The Canucks had a pretty good game, all things considered. It was kind of uneventful at times, but that's going to happen when you're playing against an LA team that just has made a living doing this kind of style. Even in the game last week, you could say that before the Kings cracked it open and scored 5 goals, it was a pretty boring game, or a pretty uneventful game, I guess you could say. Yeah, we'll have to stop using that word boring. Maybe it's not boring, but either way, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about the Canucks and the LA Kings. 2-1 Vancouver victory. They're streaking back, and they're still putting in the work. Thoughts in the comments section below about the Miller and Pettersson goals. I hope you enjoyed this. 9, and bye.